Good evening. Welcome to your Friday night edition of Not Another Rangers podcast. We've been 2 weeks away from Ibrox since that game against Hearts, which I'm still trying to forget all about. And probably could forget it quite easily because nothing much happened in it. But we're back tomorrow for a 3 o'clock kickoff at Ibrox on a Saturday. For don't know how often we've done that. Scott, are you looking forward to going back?
I'm looking forward to getting back, Gary, but I don't know if I'm looking forward to watching. Do you know that way? It's not been great recently, but you know yourself, we still go with support, but I'm just hoping for something better. And it's something better than the eye, but I'm just hoping for something better to watch because you obviously have 3 points the most important thing, Gary, but we just want something that's we can hang on to and say we can see progression, we can see forward thinking, but I'm not getting that at this moment in time.
I think that's it. You know, something. It's funny because I was looking, obviously preparing for the night. I reckon Ibrox this season's been pretty good. It's just not been games. Been great. I think we've won them all. I think we might have won them all and barely conceded a goal. But just it's not been particularly exciting. When I say Ibrox, I say at home because Hampden includes in that. Didn't I forget that was part of it. So in terms of tonight, obviously just me and Scott. Nobody else is available, unfortunately. Ricky's unwell, so we wish him all the best and hopefully he recovers and while he sits in the sunshine in Abu Dhabi sniffing with a cold. Good luck to him. Who knew that was even possible? So tonight we'll talk, I suppose we'll have a chat tonight about the game, obviously predominantly, and tomorrow we'll pick up with stuff about Nils Koppen, which has been the big news since we're on Monday night. The big news probably is Nils Koppen moving job, and then we've got obviously the press conference of the day, and then a bit of preview for tomorrow. So we'll chat through that. We'll see how it takes us. That's only me and Scott, so I might get fed up during it, and it might not last as long as another one. But hopefully we've got the best part of an hour's worth of content to keep us going. So Nils Koppen, Scott, first impressions then. So on Tuesday or Wednesday, Rangers released a surprise statement to say that he's now been appointed technical director, and I think that's to oversee the club's academy, the men's football department, the medical, the football operations, performance, and analysis. Were you surprised? What's your thoughts?
I can't say I was surprised, Gary, because the Rangers board do things that doesn't shock anybody anymore. And that's just nothing against Nils Koppen, by the way. Because he came as a scout, and to me, he was still a scout, but now he's got all these different titles. And I just think he likes the credentials, Gary, for all these different jobs. And I also think we could have waited until a CEO and a chairman was in place, and then run it by him and say, right, we've got Niles in the building. Do you promote him or give him his other positions, or do you bring in somebody you know or somebody you fancy to run these departments? Maybe give a different one, somebody in the academy, somebody in the medical, and maybe let Koppen do the first year football stuff. But to give him everything at this short of time, especially when the fans aren't happy, the pressure's on Clement, it just seems to me he's in a backward step for this board and a cheap option. Do you know what I mean? It's like, let's give him 5 different jobs. You're giving maybe 3 other different people.
So what makes you think the timing? And the time is obviously out of nowhere to some degree. Why do you think that was made this week? And why that happened, as you say? What's your thinking behind it?
I'm not got a clue. I can't work out the board members anymore. I don't know who made the appointment. I don't know if it was Gallagher in parts. I don't know who else was involved. I just feel it was too quick to be made. I think I should have waited, like I said, until maybe a chairman was in, CEO was in, and then sat down and run it by everybody. I'm not saying they wouldn't have made it for him, but I just think it's rather been forced to make this appointment before these other 2 guys are in position, because they might come in and not like him there, or are they going to be handpicked to come in and know what they've been told to do instead of maybe somebody coming in with a fresh set of eyes?
Do you think, I suppose one of the things I was thinking about earlier on with Nils Koppen is obviously when you look back at his record, he has got a lot of football credentials. Now, how good, bad, or indifferent he may be coming into it, he's got lots of experience across various areas of football. Do you think that means when they're looking at a chief executive, maybe they already are almost close to appointing somebody, that may be more focused on a business appointment as opposed to a footballing appointment, and then with Nils Koppen being what was the old sporting director type role?
The football clubs are now kind of, they've got guys, some of the clubs have got so many positions, haven't they? You look at clubs down south, even clubs up here, a lot of people working behind the scenes. We don't have that. We did have it. We don't have it anymore. It seems to be Clement, Koppen. I can't remember that guy's name that oversees the women's department, and obviously
Donald Gillis or something.
Yeah, you get the board. I just feel we need a better structure there. Listen, I could be wrong, I could prove us all wrong, and I'm hoping he does. But I just looking at where he's been and what he's done, and I know Aberdeen's a chance, and I know he's got a background in football, working in football as a scout and other credentials, but I just feel this is too big for something like that. I mean, I know listen, I was a big fan of Ross Wilson, and he had a big credential under the sun, so I'm not going to use that against that's the most important thing. I just feel he's maybe not a man for the job until he's proven to be in it. I just feel he lacks something to get all the positions, especially the academy and medical. I think first team's fine, but I he's worked with youth departments, but not on a great scale. And I just feel it's a cheap option. I think that's the main thing. I think it's a cheap option with the board. They've been cost cutting with the first team, and I think they've done it with the backroom stuff.
So I probably agree with you. I was thinking about it again, you know. So was it Craig? I can't remember the guy's name. Craig Robertson left a couple of weeks ago, and it looks on the face of it to me that his role and Coppen's role have been merged together to create this technical director role. Now you can suggest it's potentially because Rangers are cost cutting as a club, as we probably have to, which so there's maybe logic in that. It could be the case that the football structure that Bisgrove had set up was about this football board, if I remember right, when it was all these different people doing different things, and they think that's not working and bring it back into line. But for whatever reason, they've certainly, it looks like one job less in terms of the senior level. Well, it's going to be a lot more resources down the way. It does appear that director of football operations and director of recruitment are now one technical director, unless I'm missing the point.
I just think it's too much work for one guy because it only needs for the manager to be sacked and he might end up going with the manager. Do you know that way? Whereas if you've got other guys here and the manager does go and maybe he goes with him, you've got other guys still in the building. Whereas I feel he's got too many roles to do for one guy, but that's just coming from me. We've all got different opinions and some people may be delighted with the appointment. I just feel it was rushed and it's a cheap option.
Do you think the timing actually hinders Koppen himself then? So in some ways there's been a relatively negative reaction or slightly muted, but I don't know the best way to put it. But for somebody getting what is a pretty prestigious role, it's probably not got the positive response that normally somebody would get into that new position. I
don't think so. I don't think it'll affect him, no, because if I was having it wouldn't affect me, I would think, well, I'm good enough to do this because I'm good enough to do this and I'll show you what I can do and you'll be delighted with the challenge. And like I said, I hope he's up to the challenge and he proves me wrong. But I think it was maybe pressured because I know Curry just mentioned the AGM. I don't know if that's been been a focal point or I just try to fill a position because listen, the fans do have a big say. I know sometimes fan pressure is not great, and I know sometimes all fans see things different, but a lot of the time it's not in time they're all kind of looking in one direction. I know half the way the club's running. Listen, the club's only run great for a while. I know the board members have done great financially for us, but kind of getting us back in an even keel, but I don't see any progression in what they're doing. I feel everything's sideways or backwards.
Yeah. So I suppose, if we look at what Koppen's going to be doing then, so picking up the role he's got, so I think what did I say it was direct, so academy, so he's in charge of the academy. If we were looking at it then as individuals, what should he be looking to do to make the academy effective? Do you know, because we've all got opinion. Again, we'll go through some of these parts of his job and say, how do we make them successful? So the academy's not worked particularly well over the last couple of years. There's not been a lot of players coming through. Not a lot of players going through many academies across the UK, to be fair. But what could and should he be looking at doing to make that more effective?
Various things you can do, can't you? A lot of people think it's a waste of money, but I think the scouting has to be improved. I think nowadays they don't do as much scouting because the analysts do a lot of stuff and then look at players that way, but I think you have to need a bit of both. I think the eye can tell you a different story for stats. I've always said that. And I think the first thing Koppen has to do is maybe say, I need to appoint somebody to oversee this academy. Because he can't be doing everything. He can't be. I think he needs to bring in somebody who's worked in academies before and who is used to that environment. I don't know, because if he's concentrating in a first team and he's concentrating in equipment, he has to get somebody to win that academy for him. I know we had the boy that came in, didn't he? Before he was the boy that came in before he left.
Well, what was his name? The Belgian guy. It was a short term. And I can't remember his name off the top of my head now.
Well, he came in with all these big ideas, and none of really seemed to work for him. So I don't know, does he bring somebody else in? I know he mentioned bringing ex-players back, and that's fine, but the ex-players have to offer something. You just don't come back because you're an ex-player. Do you know what I mean? I know everybody likes to see ex-players in the building, but there's no point in bringing ex-players back if they don't offer to the club, as in academy-wise or coaching-wise.
So sticking with the academy then, so there's obviously some elements of the academy. Like the fact we don't play games, or if we do play games, we play friendly games, or was it youth? Is it youth cup or challenge cup or whatever it's called? So that's obviously one issue. You don't play enough games to make it worthwhile. Guys like presumably Lowry, King, McKinnon, others that are maybe hanging about the first team squad but not playing anywhere. Really, I'm assuming they're just wasting away.
They are, and I think there's only so long you can stay there. Once you get to a certain age in academy football, you need to progress. You need to move on. If you can't, you stagnate, then you're not getting any better because you're not doing nothing. You're just training and nothing else. There's a young King, to me, have to be shown the door. As a Lowry, have to be shown the door. And it's not because you're not getting talent, because both of them probably have, but I think a bit like Lewis Mayo, you need to go somewhere else to show what they've got. Because if Lewis Mayo stayed at Rangers, he wouldn't have played in the first team.
No.
Because that doesn't happen here. And the manager, he has to give young guys a chance, but it's difficult because he's under pressure. So he goes to the guys he trusts more instead of going to guys he doesn't really know. And yeah, then my link with Lennon Miller, who's played all these games at Motherwell because he's been given a chance, whereas guys at the academy aren't given that chance. So we let them go, like Lewis Mayo, like I said, and then you get people saying in different social media pages and you get football, we should look at Lewis Mayo again. Do you know what I mean? So I think he has to bring somebody in to oversee the academy as in a whole and say, let's get it back to basics and can we get a part of the league again? I think playing all these different games isn't great and be involved in something. Yeah, that league run, they didn't think it was progressive enough because they're playing against maybe older people, they play against teams that weren't as good. But you have to play regular football. You just can't play friendlies here and there and then. Do you know what I mean? You have to play every week and if you can progress from there, it happens. But being involved with first team is great, Gary, but you know yourself, a lot of these guys aren't even getting minutes. So being involved in the first team, I know they're sitting on a bench at a weekend or midweek and they know themselves it's pointless on getting to play a football, but it's on because someone only get involved.
So, I mean, obviously, as you say, one of the big issues is you can't get to play football or not playing enough football because presumably Zeb Jacobs, that was the guy's name, Zeb Jacobs. So presumably Rangers have the best coaches in Scotland, arguably. They should have. If they don't, there's something wrong. They should also have probably the best players, in a sense, with them and their biggest rivals. So if you're going to have any chance, presumably those players are better than the others at other teams currently. And it's a pathway. Whether that pathway is not playing enough games, whether it's because there's no direction from the leadership, like Koppen is saying to, come on, you need to bleed these players or they need to play and there needs to be some sort of thing. So one of the things he did say in his interview was that there needs to be younger players getting involved with the first team earlier and making that step. Do you think that there may come a time, I suppose, that it's mandatory effectively? Do you know, it's from the sporting director, technical directors effectively saying you have to be, these guys need to get X amount of minutes, this amount of time, because this is how we develop our players and make money off them.
I think there's certain ones that maybe stand out and you have to give them minutes and it's up to them to take that chance when they're given it, but they have to be given the chance. But we've seen Cole McKinnon come in doing okay, and he's not seen him again. Zach Orfley's come in doing okay. Yeah, he was injured, but then he was left out. But they'll go out and spend £3-4 million on somebody from abroad who's Diamandi or Cortez, who I've done okay. Diamandi's been up and down performances, Cortez was injured, but that's a lot of money to waste on guys the same age as roughly some of the academy players.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying they're no better, but was there nobody in the academy to maybe try before you go out and spend that money? Mm-hmm. Saying I know we constantly link with Lennon Miller, who I don't think will get. I think we're not going abroad, but there's other players in the academy, and Bale Rice is always mentioned, but I know Bale's been injured quite a lot on and off. But why not give him a chance? But it's difficult because if you give these guys a chance and you don't win the games or you're struggling in games, the fans will say, well, why not play the experienced guys? So it's it's a 6 half a dozen situation. It doesn't know what way to turn it. He's stuck in a rock and a hard place, so I'll give him a bit of credit there. But you have to show it because I would feel better for him if I thought, right, he's giving these guys a chance. We're not playing well now, but if he sticks with them, the rapport with these players will get better and there's something to build on. Whereas sticking with guys who've been in the team for years or guys who are not good enough, that's what annoys me. But academy has to bring in somebody overseas. I know Kevin Thompson's name is mentioned a lot, and Kevin has worked with academy at Rangers before he went away to be a manager. So I wouldn't mind Kevin Thompson coming back because he's a very good coach, Kevin. So I think somebody like that coming in would help us. But they have to go in a different direction. They have to play more football to kick off.
Aye, and it has to be the right coach, and I don't know, when Kevin Thompson's obviously a respected coach, but he's got his own businesses and he's got a managerial career at one point. I thought he was one, so he's not the only name in town. I suppose it's probably fair to say there can be a number of people that maybe would be worthwhile looking at that have connections to Rangers, but more important, as you said earlier on, I think what you want is the ones that are the best coaches, the ones that can develop people, and the ones that can fight the cause to get those players playing in the first team. And that's not necessarily about just having some link to Rangers at some point in time, isn't it? And we've got Alex Ray, who's our assistant manager, who's probably as big a Rangers fan as MD watching this tonight or watching at any point in it. So I think doesn't guarantee success, I suppose it's fair to say.
Well, Brian Gilmour's there as well, and he came through Rangers Academy years ago, so there's two there. Listen, I don't know what both of them do, but I know they do the coaching side of it, and they get a bit of stick, but none of you know what to do, because at the end of the day, the manager get a final say. Who starts, who doesn't start. You can, as a coach, you want to give you a wee bit of information, a wee bit of advice, a wee bit of saying, I think we should go this way. But at the end of the day, it's a manager and carries a can, so he's probably get a final say and all things. But I just think things need to change. Structure-wise, we need to change. I think the top to bottom, not just the backroom staff, but the overall club. And I just feel we need to announce the chairman and CEO soon, Gary, because the longer it drags on, it's been a long time since we've had a CEO. And I'm not saying that's going to change things overnight, but at least you get somebody in charge and you're not relying on board members trying to take on a role they don't really know a lot about.
No, I'd agree. I mean, it's crucial. It's crucial. But basically, effectively, you've got Koppen and Clement as line manager, departmental managers, whatever you want to call it, in normal terms, then as it working jobs. But
Clement shouldn't not an excuse at times, Gary, which isn't an excuse for me. It done it with Beale and how that turned out, and Clement's getting kind of similar rain, and the board have to realise it doesn't work. You need somebody there to.
You need leadership. You need full leadership, and strategy and vision and all that stuff that goes with it. If you've got too many, not enough chiefs and too many Indians, which is the saying used to go, and that's where we're at now. You need that leadership and direction, both mainly from the chief exec and obviously the chairman is the kind of figurehead more than anything else. So, as you say, it's slightly strange why Koppen's maybe been appointed now. There must be some thinking behind it. So the academy, we need to get a structure in place. As you say, you need a head of academy, other people that are going to be able to run that sort of stuff. And there needs to be something, to me, that gets a way of playing games that are meaningful. Now, whether that's pushing SPL or whatever it is to create some sort of pyramid, it doesn't seem to want to happen. But that, to me, is all the way it's ever going to...
When I was younger, I remember going to a lot of reserve games. Because your first team players would be back in the reserve team to get fit again before they get back into the first team, and some reserve crowds are massive. Do you know what I mean? So I think it has to be something. I know it's slightly different the way they went, but I know a lot is down to money as well. A lot of reserve football get fined because of finance. But I think that something has to happen because you have to rely on youth players. You can't always buy players. You know, like yourself, they're not got a lot of money, so we can't always rely on going to spend £3-4 million in guys because no time it works. So you're hoping you can bring maybe, I'm not saying every youth player is going to come through, but if you've got an academy of 100 players, say, all over the different age range, if you can get at least 4 or 5 out of that over the seasons, you're doing well. But sometimes that's difficult, so you're looking for maybe one every couple of seasons to come in. That's your minimum.
See if we go back 35 years, 30, 40 years, I think, how many do you get through come through a season? One every couple of seasons, really, that comes through properly. I'm trying to think of them, just off the top of what we won a season at best on average.
I think when you back then it was slightly different because you could buy players in year round. money wasn't expensive to buy guys, and I think a lot of your reserve teams are full of proper pros, just playing there to make up the things and 21st team and leaving and then going back into the reserve team. Nowadays it's certain age groups, isn't it? So football has changed that way, but it's not just Rangers, it's all over Europe. There's so many youth players coming through who not just, I don't mean Rangers here, but earn a lot of money, but never made the grade at anything.
No.
And you've seen what happened with some Rangers players who are good to get enticed out of England. Even Celtic get players who get enticed out of England. So, but we have to bring through guys ourselves, because that's not a way that you see the pathway. That's not a way we can bring through a couple of guys and sell them for money. Instead of buying somebody and then selling them for money. Do you know what I mean? So we have to look at it properly. It's not going to work tomorrow. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It's going to happen this season, but we have to look ahead to the future. That's what this club has to do. It has to start progressing and going forward instead of just sitting hoping things will happen. So you're making things happen.
No. So fundamentally, I mean, obviously, as you say, bringing through players that you can then sell on takes us to the recruitment point. So even though Koppen's in charge now of more than just the recruitment, fundamentally he's going to be judged on the players that he can sell and buy, pretty much, because that's what creates a successful team. That's what creates a winning team, is getting more good players than you had before, and then selling them on for more money. So, looking at his record so far, I think he's brought in 11 players, if I remember rightly. I can't remember off the top of my head, but around about 11 players since January. I've heard lots of podcasts, lots of views, depending on your perspective of disappointment, whether they're good players, whether they're good signs or whether they're duds. And I'm sure the truth's somewhere in the middle. But looking at the 11 players brought in now, is it safe to assume that, you know, in most cases, one, you can probably see why they bought them, and the majority of them have certainly been reasonable at worst?
Some of them have looked okay, but they don't want okay, they want good, but I think it's the way that we played this season, performance this season, where we are sitting in the league. I think that's hindering a lot of players. But to bring in new players and younger players, as the manager keeps looking to, and you need experienced players around about him. And I think our experienced players are either finished or just not good enough. Guys like Lawrence is at the end of his career. Tavernier, we all know, been there too long. I mean, Kieran Dowell's not good enough, and we need to start buying. Are we going to buy experienced players? I know you spoke before about Kenny McLean. I'm not saying we're going to buy him, but we need to buy experienced players who are not going to get in our first team. Help younger guys around about them. Do you know what I mean? But it all comes for the manager, it all comes for the coaches. And listen, some of the players have performed okay. Some of them haven't performed well. That's why we're sitting third in the league, and we can all turn and say A, B, and C have looked good since they've signed, but reality is we're still sitting third in the table, 9 points behind. So we all have to do better.
Yeah. Aye, so if you go, looking at the 11 players, try to work out top of my head. So Kelly does what he says in the tin. He's there to be a backup keeper. Can't really give an argument either way, whether he's good or bad. Castle Virgil will come to later on, but he's looked decent in times he was playing. Proper is a good footballer, maybe in the wrong movie. It's hard to judge in that one. Hefty, people have raved about since the start of the season. If I miss any, tell me. Barron has been people's hero this season, so again, people raving about him. Diomande, we all think he's got ability there, but not necessarily showing it week in, week out. Then we have Bajrami, obviously a quality player, but maybe not quite at the heights, maybe not in the right position. Czerny will come to a little bit later because his press conference today, and there seems to be more criticism of him than his numbers and performances would probably suggest is reasonable.
Yeah.
And then Gamani, is that the last one? I think that's the 10. So I don't think we're looking for who?
Cortez,
who's been injured. I don't think there's any signings we look at dramatically and think they were bad signings. They might not work out, and some never do. But you can see a logic why they've all been signed and what they're meant to potentially bring.
Cortez is one to me. He's been okay, but he's been no more than that, and I don't know why. I know he's been injured, and that's not the boys' fault at the end of the day, but we're putting a lot of money out in him, Gary, and I don't know if we can spare that money for somebody who might end up being injury prone just because he's picked up a few injuries recently this season. So there's a lot of money for us to be spending on somebody we can't really justify it. I'd rather maybe spread it about and then maybe bring in maybe one or two others.
Aye. I suppose I'm just saying that on the hit rate for Koppen for his first 6 months, which may be one of the reasons he's got the job. Arguably, the signings are right on paper, which is sometimes easy to say because you could argue Cifuentes was right on paper and he's now tearing up in Greece but could not handle the cold here. So I think the logic is the signings have hit the right profiles. Maybe that's the best way to put it. But whether they succeed or not, it's a different story.
Yeah. I just feel maybe. Listen, I'm not a big fan of the manager. And I'll sit here and I'll say it. I'm not his biggest fan. I don't. It's nothing personal against him. I just think he's not a guy who would take us forward. And I can see people saying you can't keep sack managers. I understand that, but I'd also feel, come on, if he's still here next season, it's going to be roughly the same for me because I don't feel he can change it. I don't feel he can move things about. I feel he's got hanging in his mind he wants to do, and it doesn't matter the player's ability or the player style. He'll stick to that format. And to answer Nicholas, I wasn't a fan of Michael Beale either, and he can look back in the podcast about me Rabo. You'll see I wasn't a fan of Michael Beale.
So what do you think of Michael Beale rejoining Steven Gerrard then? So two ex-Rangers managers over the last 5 years now.
I think sometimes I think Michael Beale, the coach, probably is decent. He's been about and he's probably a good coach, and that's where he made his name from. I think it's different with a manager. You need to make a lot of different decisions. You're the man in charge, and don't think you can handle that. So I have to say, and before you say, I was a fan of Gio, and I felt Gio was harshly treated. So I did, and I felt he played better under Gio. Yeah, it was a lot of the horseshoe stuff, but I felt Gio could change things more and come on and Koppen could. Come on and Beale could, sorry. No, I think a lot of people have tried number twos away the number one. Some succeed, some don't. I think Michael Beale's probably better as a man, as assistant manager or a coach. But because he's been a manager before, he probably maybe thinks he should still be one. But if you ask us, yes, some non-fans, I think QPR fans, all others will tell me the same story about him.
So that takes us in, obviously, you're mentioning Clement there and your lack of faith in him, maybe that's the best way to put it, and maybe how you're not so keen. So at his press conference today, he said, and you've not seen his press conference, I'll paraphrase, he said that he is not going to be the Belgian manager, he is not going anywhere, please do not ask me questions again because I'm not interested in answering them. Basically, you've asked me a month ago about Anderlecht, you asked me about Belgium today, I'm not going anywhere and I'm not going to even bother asking, but listen to my game future. So I think it's quite unequivocal with him. Whether you think that's good or bad, I'm sure you think it's pretty bad. But he certainly made it clear that he wasn't interested in leaving. Because
I didn't think he would be. He's been backed by the board, he's been given a new deal, and I think he's quite stubborn, and it's probably in a good way for him, but he wants to finish a job he thinks he started. But to me, I don't think he will. I think things could get worse. And I'll sit here and apologise to him if he turns this on about and say I was wrong. But there's nothing I can see that's going to work for him. Because I feel we have to, this is just coming from me, Gary, it's not anybody else. I feel with the players we have to play slightly different. The formation has to be slightly different. I might not work, but he has to try something else. But he doesn't want to try something else, and he's got his favourites. Every manager does, but his favourites to me are finished.
Do you think there's a thing, because people talk a lot about this, and the same with Gio, as we were talking about him earlier on, is that some managers or foreign managers, European managers, can manage the whole European game, tactical stuff, they're far, far better than they can manage the 10 players behind the ball and hoof up the park in the space than sometimes it's plays against it. And do you think it's just a real struggle for a number of managers to actually equip themselves to deal with it?
I think it is. Listen, I think Scottish football's, it's not rated by a lot of people, but it's difficult to compete in because you don't really get that in any other league. There's a lot of technical footballers elsewhere, but in Scotland, there's good football, but a lot of it's in your face stuff. Don't let you sit, they don't let you have any passing about. They want to just be in there, they'll sit deep and just pack their defence, nick you in the break. And listen, I feel he struggles with that, Clement. I feel he doesn't really know what to do and what not to do. And I feel it's not going to improve because he's been here long enough. And the problem is, he keeps saying this new team, these new players. All of these guys were here last season under him, do you know what I mean? So it's not like he's done a full flip and it's a full new team he's got. It's one or two guys, and I just feel he's struggling. But in Europe, we look good. and even proper looks good in Europe because the game's so that you can build up for the back and then play passes because teams do send us that off. You seen it now week and we do look good in Europe. We look really very good in Europe under Gio. In the league, we were a lot slow as well. It wasn't great, but I think Gio the manager could probably change that. I think he had that mentality to change stuff. I think he tried that a couple of times. But Clement, to me, he's too stubborn to do that, Gary. When he came in, but when he first won it, he went to a back five, didn't he?
And the first game, I think Ben Davies played. I think there was injuries, wasn't it?
But remember he played Seaman as well in the wing.
It was that one game. I think Ben Davies played kind of left of the back three, and then Seaman played kind of wing back.
Aye, but he's not done that again. But he's got a players there that could probably. And I know a lot of folk are in favour of it either, but I think it would help some of these players out.
Aye.
Because I feel it doesn't matter who we are playing against. A long straight ball or a long diagonal ball, we struggle. It doesn't matter if it's St Mirren, Dundee United, Aberdeen or Celtic. The same ball, we struggle.
Yeah, and that's a tactical thing potentially, and it's also the players we've got because it's the same. As you say, it's the same goal we've lost many times this season. The last year, that ball over the top, getting to space and got them outmuscling somebody potentially, and even John Suter, who has been Scotland's new superstar the last 3 international games, has struggled a few times with that.
He played a different way for Scotland, but
there's more defence, more siege defending. Yeah. It's more as opposed to.
And that's John's strengths.
Aye.
But you seen it when Sterling was at right back. The long diagonal wasn't beating us because Sterling was there because defensively he was switched on.
But that's because he's not asked to go forward. There's a balance in it. The problem is with these things we play in league games, we'll play 2 centre halves at the back and everybody else goes forward or something like that, and that's how you get caught. So Clement's not going anywhere though. So unless he's removed at some point, I think that's fair to say from his press conference. He talked a little bit about Ravi Matondo, who has picked up a knock in the bounce game last week, so he's missing for tomorrow. So before he even got fit again, he's managed to get himself injured. I don't think it was much, but again, he did also say that Cortez is due to start training next week. One of those 2 players or both of those players come back will make a difference, both from a pace point of view, but also allowing Bajrami to maybe potentially move into his right position.
Yeah, I mean, they would, but I still can't get, again, looking back to the transfer window, why did we not let Matondo go to Norwich and sign the boy Dozy? I still can't get that. I can't get it in my head. Why did we not back Norwich to take Matondo? Since he's been at Rangers, Gary, apart from scoring a goal against Celtic in a 3-3 draw, which he's not done nothing for us, he's not done a lot.
No, definitely not. Definitely. You watch him moments and you see bits of ability in the Ross County game and a few games, fleeting things he does, but very much fleeting the amount of times he's played. He's got pace, he's got a decent shot when he cuts inside, but not a lot else at times. No real awareness of how to create, I don't think.
No. He's very just one direction. You can see why that's why he said a lot of moves, because people say I'm on the back of his pace and I'll buy him on the back of his pace and think this boy is not as good as I thought he was. And pace is a lot in football these days, but you have to have an end product, and he doesn't have that a lot.
No.
And I don't think he's a lot of heart either, to be fair.
No.
I think he struggles with getting into tackles and defensively, and
he picks up a lot of knocks, not massively aware of defensive and that. So, but again, having him fit and having Cortez fit and giving different options, similarly with Ridvan joining, and hopefully I think Ridvan is fit now, played a part of a bounce game. So having that little bit of width in the left hand side sounds like off. So Ridvan, they did say we'll be back in the squad for tomorrow. Would you be looking to get him some minutes tomorrow?
Ridvan, you want to get him fit, so he can sell in January for me. He's a sellable asset, and Jeffrey's not really done anything wrong to be taken out the left back position. He's a bit wrong, has to improve, but he's a young boy learning the game. I'd rather see him there learning the game and bringing in Ridvan, who will get injured, no doubt, 3 or 4 games in, because that's what he does. So he has a sellable asset. I know there's a lot of teams, always see a lot of teams in Turkey are interested in. If you can get back what you pay for him, you take it and maybe invest that money in a midfielder or a striker. Maybe in a centre back, but definitely a midfielder.
Do you think you can have a £5 million left back sits on the bench while a £500,000 one keeps his place?
You can if the boys no play well enough or no fit enough, but we can't afford that.
That's what I was going to say. I suppose that's the point. They would then need to get him playing to see what he can do, whether they can do enough to take his place again or be sold.
Yeah, I would actually sell Redvan. I've said that on a god. When it comes to Matondo as well, two of them, Redvan and Matondo in January, they're on good money, especially Matondo. And they all have teams who are interested in Norwich, were interested in Matondo, they knocked it back. There'll be a few teams interested in Redvan. Like I say, that the papers are all right on the Turkish teams. I don't know if they'll pay right enough, though they bought a few players into recently and they get stung, but Redvan, if you can get 4 or 5 back from him, take it and just say, right, we'll invest that in a midfielder, a centre back or a striker, but we can invest that in another area of the team we need more.
So talking of injury then, so the big news at the press conference probably was that Casson Virgil has a pretty serious injury. We didn't say very much about what it was, just that it was a knee injury. He was getting a scan, I think, today or tomorrow, and they'd maybe find out more over the weekend. He did talk a few times about in discussions with Feyenoord about where he rehabs here or there or what that means. That generally, when I was listening to it, suggests that it's a long-term thing that's going to be lucky if it gets him back at all this season, which is obviously first and foremost, Scott, disappointing that Casson Virgil is now no longer an option in right back, left back, or centre back.
He is, because I thought he was starting to show you a bit of promise, wasn't he? He's the boy's athletic, he's physical, and he looked good at times, and he just needed to run of games, and obviously not going to have that anymore. So we just have to move on, Gary. It's not the first time we bring players in who get injured straight away, but he was unlucky. I seen an incident. I think when he stood in the ball at the time to control it, his other leg went and his knee turned, and it's just very unfortunate. But that's the thing that happened to us.
I don't know if that's right, but I did see something on somewhere or say this is his third knee injury already in his career at 21, 22. I don't know how true that is, but if that's the case, it maybe doesn't bode well for him as an individual, as much as anything else.
Well, we've not got an obligation to buy, just an option, wasn't it? So at least that one, unlike Cortez, we don't have to go through with any deal.
And I suppose that's a ruthless thing, isn't it? If he's not going to be fit enough, he's not going to be there.
That's what football's like. You can't be too friendly with people just because they're injured. They'll sign you when you get back fit. It doesn't work anymore. It's great if you've got a lot of money, you can do it, but you have to be clever in the transfer window. We have to be clever with what we do, and we've not been recently, but we have to start being clever. We have to bring in players who we can rely on, who can move the team forward. And I'm not saying he wasn't, but if he's going about for a long time, then we have to go to our targets.
Yeah. I think he did say that. Comment did say something about in January they'll need to assess what they do, because obviously if you've lost what is potentially your third or fourth choice centre half, a left back support, which was third or fourth choice left back, whatever it may be, and somebody's falling out right back. So we've lost a lot in defence in terms of just options as much as anything else. So he did suggest that maybe needing to reassess their January and see what they might need to look at in terms of.
See, this is when you can go back to the academy with this talk. You can see he's looking for maybe somebody like Chris Awiro, but you've got Robbie Fraser if he's in a new deal, and he could understudy Jeffy. Leon King, who I mentioned, I think should be Bibiowski, so he can move forward his career. But if you're struggling at the back, why not bring him in? He's there. Instead of going out and spending money on somebody to bring into that department, you've got poor guys there. Do you know what I mean? It's like, plus he'll bring him in and come on like he did before. Then he didn't really play him a lot of minutes until recently. So I think you have to look at where you're really needing players, and I think we still need a more experienced midfielder. I feel to go with Barron and asking, dear Monday to me needs a rest. He needs take out the fire line, and somebody's got to maybe say to him, right, you've got potential, you've got promise, but dropping you, I'll be resting you for a few weeks. When you're back in, start again, start afresh and see how you can go, because I feel he's looking worse than you.
Can we afford, again, I suppose it's a Redvan question, can you afford to have a guy paid £4.5 million sitting on the bench? Because we need to recoup value on these guys. That's the worry, is it the ones that so if we're saying £4.5 million for him, £5.5 million for Redvan, and these are the guys that we're saying only doing enough to get in the team, it then creates a bigger problem, isn't it?
It does, yeah, but every transfer is a gamble, isn't it? It doesn't matter who you bring in, because we want to bring in guys with potential, guys who we think are going to do well and move them on. We're not bringing in guys who are at a peak. We can't afford that, so it's always a risk. But do you play him through his bad performances until he gets good again, or do you give him a rest and say take a break for a week or two, then come back and start again? Because I think if we can bring in somebody else from Danny as a midfielder, we will have cover there because Raskin and playing well. So is Barron. Well, listen, Timmy's out, or Lawrenson's out, but I feel one that could probably leave at the end of the season because he's out of contract anyway. But Barami can go back into the 10 spot where we feel it should be.
What about Hadji then, Scott? So Hadji played 90 minutes, so he's played more minutes probably than Dill, for example, this season already, and he's not played a game for us particularly. But he played 90 minutes against Cyprus, I think it was, on Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday. So does he have a role to play maybe in terms of, you're saying, in that more creative attacking position?
Listen, I like to think he does. Listen, I always said about Hadji is he's got ability, right? Maybe he fleets in and out again just because that's what he's always done. But he's got ability. But how you would say you use him. Listen, when they wanted to leave, I wasn't that bored. They wanted to leave because I do think he would be better. But if he's there and you're struggling with numbers, why not give the boy a chance? He's going to be fresh. He's not played a lot of games, so stick him in there. I'd rather have him in there sitting than Lawrence, who his last few games worked off it. I know Lawrence has got some moments this season, Gary, but that's not enough. Need more. But if he's an option for you, use him. Come on, was happy when he came back in and said, we've settled the differences with Hadji, and he's a guy who is back in the squad training the first team. But apart from that fleeting sub performance, and I think he come on at Patoja for about 5 seconds, but you've not really seen him.
No, I think the sending off didn't help him because it then kind of kicked him out of the game, didn't it, in some ways. So the other press conference was Vaclav Cherny, and having listened to that, I watched that. One of the things that interested me was most of the media were asking questions about how he's managed to get out of the bad form that he was in, and how much challenging time he had and how he dealt with it, which I found was a bit ironic because it was 2 weeks, he had a couple of bad games for 2 weeks. It was a bit overhyped. This is if he's been terrible for months now, he suddenly started playing. And it did make me think, you wonder the amount of negativity that some of these press conferences give to the players about how poor they're doing, how much they're struggling, and how the club needs to do this, do that. You wonder if that actually is detrimental sometimes to that just overall confidence.
But that's the pressure when we have a big club, especially for the Rangers. The media's focused on, just like the fans at the moment, we're all focusing on the negative stuff. We're not really focusing on the positive things. And listen, Cherny's leaving our player. He's getting asked these questions. I don't know if he's an option to buy in the season or he's just came back.
I don't think so. Straight loan.
Like Seema, he's come in. Listen, Seema's numbers are good. When he first came in, he struggled a wee bit. But he's got his head down. He's worked really hard, Cherny.
Do you think he's been unfair then? So I was looking at stats, right? So he's got a transfer market value of 7 million, 22 caps for a Czech Republic team, and playing every time over the Nations League. He scored, what is it? In 18 games this season, he scored 6 goals and 5 assists, which I think is better than probably many players over the last 5 years. That's not in that short period of time. But for some reason, he still gets a lot of, he's all right.
I think that's just where we are as a sport. We're looking for someone to come out and catches, and people do it for a glimpse of game and we're all happy. Like, I get man come in and done really well and we all grab onto him. We've not seen him or he played a half-bad game. I think he's not good enough. I think because we're that desperate for something, we'll just grab onto anything, but we're very quick to flip and more. And I'm probably the same as everybody else. I'll criticise somebody or I'll praise somebody. Listen, I've criticised Cherny as well. I thought it was quite predictable when he came in, but he has changed it slightly the last few games. He has got to byline more. He's done a few other things. But I like his attitude. His attitude's really good. When you get booed, it wasn't great. Obviously, people don't like it when players give it back, but when you're getting booed, you give it back. Listen, that's life. It's somebody's giving you abuse, you give you a bit back. It doesn't matter to me. But I think he's knuckled down to prove to himself, but to prove to everybody else, he isn't a bad player. He's not a bad player. So I think he just needs sometimes help playing about him. But I think he's done really well since his last few games.
As I know, in some ways, I mean, I'm looking at it, in some ways, he's our biggest asset. I know he's a loan player. I mean, in terms of his quality-wise, if you've got a transfer market value of that, you are scoring, you are assisting, you are doing more. You're playing at a higher level than most of the other players in your squad. But I just find it quite bizarre that we seem to just talk very low of his performances, despite the fact that he has I've been doing the business more than most. Bar him and Dessers, and people will moan as soon as I've said the word Dessers. Bar him and Dessers, there's nobody else scoring. There's nobody else scoring goals. You know, that's.
We don't get enough goals, Gary, over the team. It doesn't spread itself out. And we're missing Tav's goals, but Tav's not going to get the goals anymore. His numbers have dropped significantly. It's time Tav has dropped himself. It's just he's went a season too much. I mean, maybe 2 seasons, but definitely this season. But that's what I'm missing. He contributed a lot when he was playing Tav in here before, when he was playing a lot better, the numbers and assists, the goals and assists. But that's missing. Dessers is scoring, not as maybe as much as he has been, but he's scoring. Jimmy's chipped in a couple, but we're not getting a lot of anybody else, and that's what we're missing. Missing goals from middle of the park. And we're missing, we only had the defenders score. We don't really get any goals for set pieces, but I think we scored a set piece this season, haven't we?
No, I mean, or last season, although to be fair, we sit relatively near each other. I don't think the crosses have been bad. I think for some reason we just don't head the ball. You know, a lot of time there's good set pieces and poor execution. You know, that's it's not they're not getting head the ball.
That's what the squad is, Gary. I mean, I don't think we've got a great squad, to be honest with you. I know he said he keeps trying to rebuild, and there's some new guys in the building and some other guys being around, but I think overall the squad isn't great. For what we're paying in wages, I don't think we've got a good footballing squad. I think we've got a lot of good players. I think we've got a lot of average players, but not a lot of good players.
No. I'm going to come back to a question because I'll forget it that Curry asked, and I don't really know if there's something in this that I'm not aware of. Question for you both: if the new chairman was Douglas Park's son, what would we do? What would we do as a club or as a fan base?
I think the fans wouldn't be happy. I think you probably find a few of them would be too happy, maybe end up being a protest, but there's not a lot we can do apart from just voice their opinion you're not happy. I don't think he would, but listen, you never know with that boat. You just never know, but the parts, don't get me wrong, they have put money in, but listen, it's all going to get back, but we just need something else. I know I've seen people in the chat talking about investment. It's difficult nowadays to get investment in a club, and you see other clubs getting invested, but are playing in leagues where it make more money. Scottish football doesn't make a lot of money, and that means a lot of people make money from their own money invested in a club unless they're actually Rangers fans.
No, it's not about investment. It's about generating more income.
I think we've actually generated a lot of income this season, but I know the different deals you've been doing. I mean, some of them have been the best deals you've had for a while with some of these sponsorship deals that we've had. But I think as a club overall, we need, and it's probably Scottish football as well, because you see the TV package now, but it's not great. And I think we need to, I would end the deal with Castore in the season if it's up for bargaining, so I would probably go back to somebody else, and I'll have to go back to Adidas because that's my favourite Rangers shirts, but I think as a club we need to look at everything. I mean, but Douglas Park, he's a no-no for me. He's a no-no for me, Chairman, so I'm hoping. We need to bring in somebody with fresh eyes, somebody that's not been involved in the club, and somebody that's not been involved with him. Just somebody with fresh eyes to look about and see what's actually missing, instead of just somebody coming in and carrying on like they've done before.
I know people talk a lot, but I wouldn't be too worried about the chairman. Somebody's not worried is not the right word, but the chairman is more of a figurehead than a decision maker. You know, that's not their role. I think maybe people still hark back to David Murray when he was chairman, chief exec, having everything else that went with it. You know, when he ran the whole show. But in most businesses now, the chairman doesn't have an active day-to-day role, and that would probably so. But again, I wouldn't necessarily get somebody that's maybe slightly tarnished to start with. So, looking at the game itself, then we go to Dundee United tomorrow. Home to Dundee United tomorrow. They are fourth in the league, 3 points behind us. They've had a relatively good season. I've been told many times this week, listening to podcasts, that they've scored more goals than us. However, as at Ibrox, we have a relatively good record this season, and irrespective of how well Dundee United are doing, we should be winning at home against the team like Dundee United, basically.
We should be, Gary, but we'll find out tomorrow come 5 o'clock. Listen, if it's in like that Hearts game, I think they could win for a struggle because we were rotten. Hearts had their chances, and I feel like they need to get the same chances. They won't miss as many as Hearts did.
And I suppose that's what the first half hour against Hearts, if I remember right, we were fine. You know, and that seems to be a lot of the cases. And that's a lot of the games this season. We've had half-hour spells, but no any consistent full 90 minutes. So it's dropped considerably. The difference has been so big. So if we look at the team tomorrow, so we've obviously got some major decisions. I'll pick some. So Proper or Balogun? I'm just going to pick some decisions. Quick, quiet, firing. Tell me who you think. Proper or Balogun in centre half with Suter?
Balogun, is Balogun fit?
I don't know. Did he just cramping out off the last time?
Aye, but I'll go with Balogun.
And Proper on Thursday night. I'm curious, or
probably aye. Just to give Balogun the rest.
We've kind of covered this one. Jeff, Red Van or Jeff Hefty for at least an hour.
90 minutes.
Tav or Sterling?
I'm always going to pick Sterling because I think Tav's finished, but the manager will probably go with Tav, or he'll bring him on at some point when he needs to.
And then I'll say we'll pick Tav every time. So I'm saying. So I'm thinking the two central midfielders, the 6 and 8, or whatever you want to call it, Dio, Barron, or Raskin, and Raskin. Two of those three.
It has to be Raskin and Barron because they've been playing all together. And the more they play together, the more they'll get to understand each other's games more. I just want to see more out of them going forward. I know one has to sit, but you're at home. I want the two to get forward more forward passes, and even have wee digs at goal at time. Maybe have a shot every so often because we don't do that enough.
Yeah. So then I'll move to Neat. So Diomande, Hadji, Asrami, the number 10.
I would say Hadji because I think he needs minutes, and I think tomorrow will be ideal for him. Rami still be playing left side for me because he's really not getting anybody else here. Unless he's going to, I would bring in Lovelace to play there, but he won't do that. So Rami on the left and play Hadji at 10.
And then the final one that jumps out to me. So we have up front, we have the guy that scored the goal against Hearts to win the game and has scored the equaliser against Olympiacos, Dessers or Danilo.
I would go with Danilo. He needs the minutes, and I think he's shown that we need somebody with more movement. I know you get me Dessers, but I just want to see Danilo up front to see. Listen, Dessers would be a fine sub for me. I think he can run and score goals, but I want to see Danilo.
So the question here then, so just if Raskin and Barron playing well together, how can we win the midfield? Well, I've heard this a few times that people saying we're losing the midfield at times, and then at the same time saying how well Raskin and Barron done. So you can answer this question. Why do you think that what's the contradiction there?
What midfield battles have been losing, but when you've been playing, because we've won quite a lot of games since you've been playing together. Yeah. I think the two of them are playing really well. I think they're doing what they've been asked to do. Like I say, the only criticism is they might need to get forward more and more shots in goal. But I do think we need to go to a 10 middle. And when you play a 10, I think we need to play 3. But I think the two of them are playing really well. And I don't think I've lost many midfield battles at all. Maybe against Hearts outnumbered at times, but I don't just think it.
Yeah. I think we're saying. I suppose what you're saying is there one or the other, not both. I presume that's Barron or Raskin we're talking about.
I don't think you can leave one of them out because I don't think we get anybody else in here to play at the moment. That's why I say we need in the midfield. That's how it's so good. But I think if you leave Barron out or Raskin out, I already played Diomande. I don't think he's played well enough.
I think that's it. And I suppose it's whether at home Diomande is maybe gives you again that possession that Barron maybe doesn't or Raskin doesn't. Whether passing is not as strong, although Diamande's not really proven that. He's proven the touch, but not necessarily the passing or creativity or anything that goes with it.
He's give the ball a bit. Listen, everybody's going to have different opinions, and that's fair enough. We all like different players. We all want different things, and I just feel out of the midfielders we've got now, Diomande, Barron, and Raskin. They've been better than Diomande at some point.
Yeah. And listening, I suppose a lot of this also links to Thursday night, doesn't it? You know, so playing Danilo, for example, means Dessers gets a rest before he plays on Thursday, which has to play because there's nobody else. Similarly, Diomande plays better in Europe. Similarly, Proper plays better in Europe. There's also a balancing act between the team you pick tomorrow versus the team that's going to play on the Thursday night, and always should be.
What do you think Diomande's best position is?
I think same as you, that in a flat midfield 3 probably, and where they're able to use their energy to get about the park. I think that seems to work.
Diomande's key for me. He doesn't do the simple things well enough. He tries to make everything more difficult for himself. As in, he'll turn the ball run down blind alley. Those guys here. He said just maybe laying the ball off, running and receiving it again. Do you know that way? I think he makes the game too complicated for himself.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing. I think the thing with Diomande for all of us, we look at him and think you're a good footballer, but we don't quite know what's happening. And I think that's a frustration some players you can say you're not good enough, or they are this, that, and the next thing. Dear man, they will look and think there's ability there, but don't quite know why it's not coming together at times. That's always my take on it when I see him. So anyway, we're coming to the end of the pod. We picked the favourite, our team. So your predicted score for tomorrow and scorers?
I think it'll be 2-1.
The Rangers, I'm assuming.
2-1 to Rangers. I think I'm going to go for John Suter, first goal.
John Suter a header, a set piece, or John Suter a shot outside the box?
Just either a header, probably. I'm going for Big Suter. He's on a high now. He's that crosser night is superb, and he's been playing really well for the international team, and he deserves that because he got left out of Euros after running out, which is understandable. But he's come back and he's proven to a lot of people he isn't a bad centre back, and he probably will be no matter. But I think run a game just helped him. I think he's better. I'm not even going to say it, but run a game just helped him, and I think he's actually starting to prove. Listen, all players make mistakes, and no matter how much it costs, how much I think that mistake in. But John at this moment, he's our best defender, and he's proved all night he was Scotland's best defender.
And he is an international class defender. You know, as you say, he will make mistakes. And every player in every game, every week, will make mistakes. But he is an international class defender. And my worry when I heard Clement talking about praising him in the interview, I did think, you know what, he is due an injury now. Just be listening to that, everybody talking how well he's been doing. My worry is he goes down tomorrow, and then that's him with something. But hopefully that's not the case. So I will go 2-0. I think 2-0. I don't think we have got a good record. I will not be losing many goals. I think Dessers will probably score tomorrow because that's the type of game that probably suits him. And I will go Dessers, and I will go Journey and 2-0. And I think it should be. I was going to say that because he will play and he will get a free kick outside the box against Dundee United. And if those that remember that phenomenal free kick a couple of years ago, I'll leave you with that thought nearly. So I think I know
we're talking about ex-Rangers players earlier, Gary, but Taverniers hitting that stage. He's not at that stage.
It'll be goals reel after goals reel, won't it? When we look back. So I don't know. We're coming to the end of the pod last minute or so. Is there anything else you want to pick up we've not covered?
No, I'm just hoping to get 3 points tomorrow. Hope for a good performance as well, Gary. We need it, and just to try and move on. I'm fed up going to games and getting away from it. No angry, but just feeling kind of, is that it? I'm looking for a wee bit more for the team. I'm looking for just to get a wee bit out, just to get a wee bit of good feeling back in your bones. You go to football to enjoy it, and I know that it's not been winning, but you want 3 points, but I want to see Rangers play well. I know Clement mentioned when they beat Ross County, he was going about for ages, but we've not done that since. I just want to see us going and playing well, playing a Rangers team shooting, getting a victory.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think as you say, it's deflating when you're coming out of games. You're just the atmosphere is just kind of a little bit muted because the games are done.
The atmosphere is doing really bad, and I'll also say this. I'll also say it's because Union Bears have been moved to the club.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's better than going on. I think the atmosphere is a lot better in the stadium, and it's poor because there can be 48,000-50,000 there, and you hear the morning groans more than you hear anything else, which isn't great, but that's where we are at this moment in time.
Aye, and until a bit of success starts to come our way again, that's going to be like that, unfortunately.
That's how long we are.
I know, and you know, I've just remembered there, I got my ticket for the cup final in a couple of weeks, so that'll be exciting. That'll be exciting. So
we'll start talking about it until the time.
That's a story for another pod, isn't it? We'll come to that in a few weeks' time. So thanks for joining us, for everybody watching. Cheers, Scott. Please like, subscribe, follow, all that sort of stuff if you enjoyed it. Listen back, tell all your friends, and if you get a burning desire, you want to be interested and involved in the pod, please get in touch with us. You know, we're always looking for people that are interested and want to talk about Rangers.
I think Nicola Stubber should come on because they've got a lot of opinions and got a lot of good stuff to say. So I think they should come on and join us.
So more than welcome if you're ever interested, you want to find out and join us. We're more than happy to have you from there. So anyway, Friday night, time to go watch I'm a Celebrity, get me out of here and see what's happening there.
Match a team, Gary, watch it on Friday.
So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and enjoy the rest of your evening. And we'll see you on Monday evening. See you later. Bye now.